Welcome to my mock-up version of Fairbanks International Airport in Fairbanks, Alaska at 1 by 400 scale. This is not an actual representation of the building itself, but more importantly, this is a representation of the capabilities of such a wonderful airport to fly to. Fairbanks International Airport has nonstop service from Fairbanks to Anchorage, Alaska, and Seattle, Washington through Alaska Airlines. Over here you see an Alaska Airlines 737-800 in the old livery, and here is an 800 in the newer livery. Leave a comment or a like if you like either the old livery or the new livery. I'm sure Alaska Airlines would appreciate your comments to be like. I personally want to keep them together because it represents both old and new, and it's the smiling faces that keeps Alaska going. Over there I have a old 737-700 aircraft. Right here is the Starliner 75, which was to commemorate the 75th anniversary of Alaska Airlines in business. Unfortunately, you will never see this plane in this paint scheme because as of now, this particular plane with the registration number is now painted in the new livery scheme. Over here at gate number 1, we have the honoring those who serve aircraft 900. Alaska Airlines has a 900 and an Embraer that's also painted in this scheme. I personally like the 900, and Fairbanks International Airport has seen its count of Boeing aircraft. And in my arsenal, I finally managed to get an Airbus A320 to kind of represent the change and flow of Alaska Airlines going from an all Boeing aircraft to having both Boeing and Airbus. I don't know if Alaska Airlines will ever fly an Airbus to Fairbanks because with mechanical issues that could arise, an Airbus mechanic in Fairbanks, Alaska is really a hard thing to come by, and it would cost time and effort and labor to get that taken care of. It would be nice to see an Airbus there though, but it's not my first Airbus that I've seen at Fairbanks International Airport. I'll tell you that in a little bit. So at gate number 2, you have this 737-700, which I just purchased. All that fun stuff. My planes need to be dusted. You can tell the detail of hairs and everything. You can tell, particularly this plane has been sitting on my fridge because I like Alaska Airlines. And that's gate number 3. Gate number 4 is leased to Delta, and Delta has been doing flights between Fairbanks and Seattle and a variety of aircraft. But for this video, I have a 757-200 because way back in the early 90s, 2000s, when Northwest Airlines was still around and about, Minneapolis to Fairbanks was one of the popular routes for Northwest Airlines. And with this particular registration number of 551 November Whiskey, this was one of those Northwest planes that Delta eventually purchased the company of Northwest, and it pays tribute to the old times that people would fly directly from Minneapolis to Fairbanks, Alaska to enjoy their Alaska tours. Also, in some cases for especially year-round service, Delta likes to fly between Fairbanks and Seattle. And here I have a Boeing 737-900. They rarely use the 900 for service up to Fairbanks. They have used a variety of aircraft to include the E-175, the Airbus 220, and a Boeing 737-800. So I'll just move that over to the side. And at gate number 5, United's had to move from gate number 6 to gate number 5 because Fairbanks International Airport is continuing to grow in business, but United in the summertime would offer nonstop service between Fairbanks, Alaska, and Chicago, Illinois. And this past summer, they offered service to Denver, Colorado, and San Francisco, California. They saw a pretty good business flow, and they're going to continue to promote these kinds of air routes because a direct flight is a lot better than having to stop somewhere else. The less stops that you have in your itinerary, the more pleasure you can get in your trip. Over here at gate number 6. Gate number 6 is the wide body gate, and in this case I have an Airbus A350. Now, Fairbanks International Airport during the summertime and in the wintertime experience more heavy jets. And the summertime Condor, what was Condor, would fly directly from Anchorage with a stop in Fairbanks all the way to Frankfurt, Germany. In the wintertime, Japan Airlines would charter a flight from Tokyo Narita International Airport to Fairbanks, Alaska, using either a Boeing 787 Dreamliner or a 767. But in this case, you're wondering, why an A350 be at Fairbanks International Airport? Well, as it turns out that one of these Airbus A350s, on a flight originating from Detroit, Michigan, to Seoul, South Korea, experienced an engine failure and had to land with one engine at Fairbanks International Airport in the January of 2020. Now, I had the good fortune of cooking some breakfast for some of these passengers that were diverted to Fairbanks, and from my knowledge, it's the first time that a Airbus A350 has landed in Fairbanks, Alaska, and I've made a video of it on YouTube. You can check it out. And it was pretty nice to see not only one but two Airbus A350s to be at Fairbanks International Airport. And Gate 6 is the international gate, and that handles customs. And I can actually use it as a wide-body gate on this airport layout, but this layout was made before the invention of the A350 and the 787, and you can see right down there that there's not a specific spot for it to park. So maybe that would be something I would talk to Gemini Jets about, because Gemini Jets is the one that makes all these planes. They made the gates and the airside, landside airport, and this map too. And they are making all the planes. But over here, Fairbanks International Airport has seen its fair share of heavy jets that show up. In this case, I have a Travis Air Force Base Lockheed C-5 Super Galaxy United States Air Force aircraft. Now, Fairbanks, Alaska have the Antonov 225 airplane with the 6 engines and the split tail wing land in Fairbanks International Airport for refueling. There's video of it on YouTube somewhere, you can check that out. But for this representation, that's what I have, is a C-5 from Travis. And at the end, there's a very special appearance by another Air Force airplane. Over here is a UPS MD-11, because Fairbanks International Airport, along with Anchorage International Airport, work together in conjunction of if there were any kind of diversions or emergencies like this A350 experience, that pilots can choose Fairbanks International Airport as a place to stop and refuel. Now, in the early 90s and 2000s, there would be like a UPS, there'd be Cargolux, there have been several cargo planes that have landed in Fairbanks, and I've had the fortune of seeing a UPS MD-11 with the engine number 2, the tail engine, the cowling open, and seeing somebody on a scissor lift at like minus 20 degrees trying to fix an engine. It's not a pretty sight, but the work's got to be done. So that's in my arsenal. Over here it's Fairbanks, so I finally got the money to purchase an Everett's Air Cargo DC-6, which has moving propellers. And this bird was manufactured in 1953. And to think that there's only a handful of these planes still able to fly, you can check out YouTube videos of Everett's Air Cargo. But I finally, since living in Fairbanks, I've seen Everett's Air Cargo. I figured I might as well purchase an Everett's Air Cargo to get that, to make it more realistic. And last but not least, in my arsenal, I have all the way from Anchorage, Alaska, this beautiful Boeing C-17 Globemaster with very realistic slats. And you can see on the side in the winglets the reflective bar. And that makes it wonderful at night. You can see it's Anchorage. But more importantly, it's got one of these very realistic red dots. And it's actually a nice shiny emblem. Because all the other planes that I have just a red dot painted on top for the light to signify when a plane's actually moving. So, yep. And this does have the capabilities, let me turn it this way, that the door can actually pop out, but I don't want to risk the composure of the C-17. So, this video is a little bit longer than what it was supposed to, but leave a comment if you like it. If you feel like you want to comment, don't be afraid to do so, because you only get to live once. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.